Good morning, listeners. Welcome back to the class of online lectures. In my previous lectures, I started with the origin of mammals, and we have completed two lectures of this topic, in which we completed the various aspects of origin of mammals, like mammals' characteristics and the various evidences in support of origin of mammals. Today we will start with its part third. Myself Dr. Krishna Mishra, Associate Professor Zoology, Samrat Prithviraj Chauhan, Rajkiya Mahavidyalaya, Ajmer. In this lecture, we will start with the paleontological evidences. The fossil remains of the mammals like reptiles, they offers a sound evolutionary basis of mammalian origin through reptiles. The mammal-like reptiles, they are Synapsida. Synapsida comprises of a very interesting group of reptiles that appeared in the rocks of late Carboniferous time. They form a bridge between the primitive reptiles and the primitive mammals. The latest genera approached so close towards mammalian stage that it is really questionable whether they should be included amongst mammals or reptiles. Synapsida, they show the tendency of loss of bones in the skull. Teeth showed differentiation. The lateral temporal opening, it was situated behind the eyes and it became enlarged gracefully. The Synapsida had a large number of genera. The early members were very close to the ancestral Cortilosaurs, while some of the latest genera approached very close to the mammals. Pelycosaurs, they were the first synapsid, and these pelycosaurs initiated a line of evolutionary development which is most completely recorded in zoological history. The first pelycosaurs are the Ophiochodon, of which Varannosaurus was a primitive member. In Varannosaurus, the skull was narrow, marginal teeth were socketed, and showed little regional specialization. Bifurcation of pelycosaurs. Pelycosaurs evolved along two lines. One is Edaphosaurus, or second one is Sphenocodons. Edaphosaurus, springing from an Ophiochodon ancestry in Permian age, the Edaphosaurus, they diverged into a different line. The skull of Edaphosaurus, it was very small, stout and shallow, and teeth were not differentiated. Whereas in Sphenocodons, the second evolutionary line from the Pelycosaurus was the Snaphocodons, which led to the channels of evolution. Teeth were strongly differentiated, which made the refinement of the skull. Therapsid. It is a pelycosaurian synapsid. The fossil of these forms were recorded in Middle and Late Permian and in Triassic age. They were the forms that took the road leading towards mammalian organization. Position of the following characters certainly supports the contention. There was a strong trend of lateral temporal fossa to enlarge, presence of a secondary palate, dentary was enlarged at the expense of other bones, double occipital condyles were present, teeth were differentiated, and quadrate and quadratosucal were reduced and loosely attached with the skull. So these were the characters which shows the mammalian towards the mammalian organization. The therapsids, they follow two lines of adaptive radiation. One is anemodonts and another one is dinocephalians. Anemodonts, they were archaic therapsids who retained many primitive features of the pelycosaurs. They lacked secondary palate and the pineal opening was very large. The dentary was moderately developed. The typical representatives of this group is exemplified by tapinocephalids. Dinocephalians, they were the most successful therapsids of phylogenetic longevity. They appeared in the middle of Permian to lower Triassic. Bones of the temporal region of Dinocephalian were thin due to the enlargement of temporal opening. Acromion process, it was present on the scapula. The phalanges, they were reduced to mammalian count. Thecodonts, when the Dinocephalians, they were evolving in their own ways, the Theriodonts developed rapidly in a direction that was led directly to the mammals. The Theriodonts, they were varied in shape. Cyanognathus was a typical genus of the Theriodonts. Cyanodontia has many mammalian features like double occipital condyles. Lower jaw was almost made up of single bone, dentary, heterodont dentition, presence of hard palate, double headed ribs, and scapular spine. It was present in Cyanodontia. Then Ictidosauria. They formed a bridge between the reptiles and mammals. They had almost crossed the threshold line that separates the reptiles from mammals. This shows skull was highly organized, mammal-like, and cranium was spacious. Quadrate bone was greatly reduced, lower jaw was made up of dentary, and presence of double occipital condyles, heterodont dentition. So these all characters, they were similar to the mammals. Then we will come to the molar hypothesis which support the reptilian ancestry of mammals. What is molar hypothesis? Mammals, they possess characteristic molar teeth. The origin of molar teeth in the phylogenetic history of mammal has given rise to a number of theories. All the theories, they indirectly support reptilian ancestry of mammals. First theory is tritubercular theory. This theory was given by Cope and Osborn. They hold that mammalian molar teeth, they passed through a trituberculate stage which is found in Cyanognathus. Then multitubercular theory, it was given by Woodward and Goodrich. They advocates that mammalian molar teeth, they arose from multituberculate stage found in Cyanodontia, that is Didelmodon, and the modern mammals are the evolutionary derivatives of Didelmodon. Then diphyletic origin theory. Compromise theory of diphyletic origin of Mewart and Bedard advances the logical idea of mammalian evolution from Cyanodontia having both tritubercular and multitubercular molar teeth. Judging all the theories, the inevitable conclusion that can be drawn is that reptilian ancestry is full of evolutionary significance. Cumulative evidences from paleontology, comparative morphology, and serology, it proves that the mammals sprang from reptiles. Very likely, the source is best represented by either cynodonts or Ictidosauria. Then, the probable ancestry of mammals. According to the most evolutionist, reptiles hold the key mammalian history. The Therodonts reptiles holds the key mammalian ancestry. This one is Therodontia. And from Cynodontia, the Ictidosauria and the Mammalia arose. Cynodontia, this one is Cynodontia, and from this Ictidosauria and Mammalia, they both are arose and underwent parallel evolution. They underwent parallel evolution. Then we will come to the biological trends in mammalian evolution. What are the biological trends? A review of fossil mammal-like reptiles reveals that the evolution of mammals is preceded through the following biological trends. One is the gradual growth of brain, which is related to the increment of cranial cavity, then gradual acquisition of hard palate, the loss and condensation of some bones of the skull and lower jaw, the gradual reduction of elements of pectoral girdle, gradual condensation, differentiation and compactness of the general body system to increase the efficiency. Now we will come to the time, place and causes of origin of mammals. First, time of origin. The mammal-like reptiles, they were abundant in the Permian and in early Triassic period. The probable time is assigned either to be late Permian or early Triassic. So this was the time of origin of mammals, either late Permian or early Triassic. Place of origin. There are two views regarding the place of origin of mammals. The first view is that the mammal they arose in South Africa as evidenced from the abundance of therapsid fossils. What was the evidence? The presence of therapsid fossils, and it shows that mammals may arose in South Africa. But the second view, according to the second view, which was based from the history of reptilian disappearance, the second view holds that the place of origin was Central Asia. So, first view, it shows that place of origin was South Africa, and second view, it shows that it was Central Asia. Then causes of origin. From Permian to Jurassic Age, there was a great climatic fluctuation. There had been periodic aridity alternating with glacial periods, so nature has to provide a new mechanism of temperature control. This means climatic fluctuations जो हैं उनको फुलफिल करने के लिए कुछ ऐसी मैकेनिज्म चाहिए थी जो कि टेम्परेचर कंट्रोल जो है उसको बैलेंस कर सके. The achievement of temperature control probably saved the insignificant mammals from one stroke of geological changes. However, with all certainties and probabilities, the insignificant cynodonts, whose existence was at the mercy of mighty dinosaurs, survived the perilous existence and gave origin to mammalian form of life in time and space. So this was all about origin of